They said she spoke to the moon, that she gathered herbs by twilight, that her cat never left her side. For that alone she burned. Between the 15th and 18th centuries, across Europe and the American colonies, an estimated 60,000 people were executed for witchcraft, and almost 80% were women, not because they flew on broomsticks, but because they dared to live slightly differently. The world called it justice. History remembers it as hysteria. It began with a book that would fuel centuries of fear. Malleus Maleficarum, The Hammer of Witches, published in 1486 by Heinrich Kramer, a German inquisitor obsessed with demons and women. He wrote, "All witchcraft comes from carnal lust, which is in women insatiable." That single line condemned generations. According to his twisted logic, a woman could be accused if she had freckles or a birthmark, the devil's mark, her milk soured, her neighbor's cow stopped producing, or if a storm arrived after she spoke of rain. That was enough. The courts called it proof. The church called it sin. Picture this. A woman stands in the town square. A child has fallen ill. The crops have withered. Someone whispers, "She looked at me strangely." And that's how it began. In Germany, if a woman baked bread that rose too fast, witchcraft. In Scotland, if she mumbled to herself while walking home, witchcraft. In England, if she owned a cat, witchcraft. In Finland, if she danced alone in her house, witchcraft. And if she was simply old, poor, or unmarried, that was the deadliest accusation of all, because society believed women without men were dangerous. A woman with knowledge, terrifying. A woman with independence, unholy. They called them trials, but they were never meant to find truth, only confession. The swimming test. The accused was thrown into a river. If she floated, it meant the water, pure and holy, had rejected her. Guilty. If she sank, innocent. But often, she never surfaced again. The needle test. Men pricked her skin with long needles, searching for the devil's mark, a spot that wouldn't bleed. Many fainted from blood loss before the proof was found. The prayer test. If she stumbled over a single word while reciting the Lord's Prayer, a sign of guilt. Imagine trembling, terrified, your hands bound, and 100 eyes burning into you. How could anyone not falter? And perhaps the most absurd, if she cried during her trial, proof of guilt. If she did not cry, proof she was soulless. There was no escape. The fire crossed the ocean. Salem, Massachusetts, a Puritan town where fear wore a holy mask. In the spring of 1692, 2 young girls convulsed, screamed, and claimed they were bewitched. Within weeks, the accusation spread like infection. A slave woman named Tituba was among the first accused, her only crime being different. She confessed under torture, weaving tales of the devil's book and black dogs, not from belief, but survival. Then came Sarah Good, a homeless beggar. Sarah Osborne, an old woman who didn't attend church. Both were hanged. By the end, 20 people were executed, and over 200 accused, because of dreams, gossip, and the twitch of a child's hand. Behind the fire, there was no magic, only power. The witch hunts were a tool, a way to control, to silence, to punish women who did not conform. Midwives who practiced herbal medicine were accused of using the devil's herbs. Widows who inherited land were labeled as temptresses of Satan. Women who dared to speak against the church were branded heretics. And when famine struck or plague arrived, people needed a scapegoat, someone they could burn to feel pure again. By the late 1700s, reason began to return. Science replaced superstition. Philosophers like Voltaire and Montesquieu denounced witch trials as crimes of ignorance. But for thousands of women, it was too late. Their ashes were scattered across Europe, from the moors of Scotland to the valleys of Switzerland. The last recorded witch execution in Europe happened in 1782. In Switzerland, a woman named Anna Gerldy, accused of bewitching a child. She was beheaded, not burned, a final gesture of mercy. When the fires finally died, the world did not apologize. It simply forgot. But if you walk through the villages where those women live, you can still see the stones darkened by centuries of smoke. And sometimes at dusk, the wind sounds like whispering, a reminder of the women whose only crime was being themselves. Because history does not remember their names, only the flames that erased them. The fire may have gone out, but the reasons The fear, the control, the silence still smolder beneath the surface of our world today.